Hi everyone, I'm here to read for you the book called India. And in this book, we're going to learn a few things. One thing we're going to learn is how is the land in northern India different from the land in the rest of the country? And then we're going to talk about, do you think the festivals in India would be fun to attend? Explain why or why not. So I'm going to read the book for you, just like if I were in class and helping you in a little group. So this is the cover page. We have a woman who's Indian, and I want you to take a minute to look at her. You can notice what she's wearing, what the colors that she's wearing. I see some bracelets on her wrist. I see a necklace around her neck. I see she has what's called a bindu or bindi, and that is a very special symbol that we'll learn about. And then I see she has some orange flowers and it's covering her hair. And the colors are really bright. They're really like vibrant. They're not like dull or pastel colors. They're like bold colors. So let's get started. So in this book, there's some different sections, and the table of contents is where is it, the people, land, celebrations, animals, conclusion, and glossary. The glossary will help us learn any of the words that are confusing. In this picture, we have some elephants. Look at how they are decorated. Wow, I've never seen such fancy elephants in my whole life. They have like I don't know, a covering on them. People are riding them, and it looks like from their trunk there's like either some candles or bells. Like, wow, elephants must be special in this culture. That's what I'm kind of thinking of when I see that. So here is our first part about India. Where is it? India is a country in Asia. Much of it is surrounded by water. To the south and west is the Arabian Sea. To the south and east is the Bay of Bengal. I want to point that out on the map. So the text says, to the south and west is the Arabian Sea. So southwest. Here we have the Arabian Sea. And this sea also borders Africa and it borders Saudi Arabia. And then, oh, Kitty is coming to learn too. Then we have on the opposite side, we have the Bay of Bengal. So the text says, to the south and east is the Bay of Bengal. And actually, the Bay of Bengal is borders a country called Bangladesh. So here's Bangladesh here. So whenever I think of Bay of Bengal, I think of Bangladesh because that I think there's a connection between those names. We can see in India, it's kind of hard to tell from this map, but we know it's very large. And the borders are Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and Burma, also known as Myanmar. China is close to it, but it's not a bordering country. There's also the country of Sri Lanka, which is close, but it doesn't exactly border it. The next page says the capital of India is New Delhi. It's part of a much larger city of Delhi. More than 20 million people live in Delhi and New Delhi. Wow. So 20 million people. That's so I always think New York City has 8 million people. That's, over two times the population of New York City live in Delhi and New Delhi. You can see from the pictures it's very crowded there, lots of people, lots of things going on, people selling things, lots of stores. And then this picture is showing New Delhi. And there's some, looks like people are, this is like one side of the road, this is another side of the road, and then there's shops. The text says New Delhi has wider streets than the rest of Delhi. So in Delhi, the streets are kind of narrow and everyone gets crowded, but in New Delhi, they're wider. Let's learn a little bit about the people. This caption says many people in the countryside must carry water from a well to their homes, so they probably don't have water inside their house. More than 1 billion people live in India. Only China has more people than India. Most Indian people live in the countryside. These cities do not have as many people. They are very crowded though. So when you think of India, you should think of like a lot of people living in a small amount of space. Around half of the people in India make their living from growing food. They grow crops or raise sheep, goats, and chickens for meat. They do not raise cows for meat. Most Indians are Hindu. Herding a cow is against the Hindu religion. So that's really important to know that when you go to India, you're not going to be eating like steak and a hamburger and like meat from cows, because cows are very like sacred and important in the Hindu religion. So that's why if you eat meat there, you'd probably eat sheep or a goat or a chicken. You're not going to be eating lots of cows. This caption says, people in India have used elephants to carry crops and do other kinds of work for a long time. Let's learn a little bit about the land. Here we have a map. It says India's land forms. India has many mountains and different kinds of flat land. The mountains are in the north. They are the highest in the world. Let's look at the mountains. Yep, so in the north we have the mountains. They're called the Himalayan mountains. And the mountains are, yeah, they're the tallest in the whole world. So Mount Everest is here. Mount Everest is in Nepal, and Nepal borders India. So Mount Everest is very close to India. So looking at the map, I can see that some of the Himalayan mountains are in India. Some of them are in Nepal, and then some of them are extending over here to Bhutan. So that's why lots of like mountaineers go to India and Nepal to climb the mountains. People live in this mountain area and they're expert climbers. Also, something I want to point out on this map is the different rivers. There's a river called the Ganges or the Ganga, and this river is very important to Indian culture. It's in the north. Um, Also, what I can see is that there's a desert over here called the Thar Desert. And then there's some highland in the south and in the east. So in the south, we have the Deccan Plateau. That's highland. And then the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Right to the south of the Himalayan mountains, it's a plain. So it's like flat land, and that's like usually like the Great Plains in the United States. That's a good place to grow food, so that you get that right before the mountains. Okay, let's keep going. This caption says, the Thar Desert in northern India is sandy and very large. The wind forms the sand into dunes that are always changing. Rich land covers the north of India. It was formed long ago as rivers flooded over and over. In the west is the dry desert. In the south is raised flat land. This land takes up more than half of India. So remember that a plateau is land that's up, it's up high and it's flat. So it's raised and it's flat. In May or June every year, winds bring a large amount of rain. This is called the monsoon season. Most of India's rains fall during this season. So if you go to India in May or June, it's going to be really rainy. In fact, if you want to go to India from the United States, usually you do not go in May or June, even July. You do not go then because it is too rainy, and it won't be very fun because it will just rain all the time. And it will rain like really heavy, like extremely heavy. Oh, now we're going to learn about celebrations. Okay, so this says Diwali is the festival of lights. It honors the Hindu goddess of wealth. And if you were in our class in first trimester, you'll remember we learned about Diwali and we learned about Tihar, which is the Nepali holiday that is at the similar time as Diwali. So it says it's a festival of lights. So you can see that there's lots of lights, and they've made like a mandala, like a design on the floor. The family is all gathered together with the kids. Looks pretty nice. So the text says celebrations. People in India celebrate many special days. Diwali lasts for 5 days. During this festival, people light small candles. They shoot firecrackers and give sweets to family and friends. Wow, look at this colorful. This is one called Holi. Holi is a colorful celebration. Holi is a spring Hindu festival. During Holi, people celebrate the end of winter. They throw colored water and powder on each other. And actually, the celebration of Holi was during our spring break. And in the Poly Club, we celebrated by using some colors and putting color on our face. Very fun. Let's learn a little about animals. The text says monkeys are found all over India, even in large cities. Animals. Many kinds of animals live in India. It is the only country in the world with both lions and tigers. Elephants live in the flat lands and forests. The mountains are home to bears, foxes, sheep, and wild goats. Ooh, here we have a tiger. Bengal tigers live in the mangrove forests along the Bay of Bengal. To move myself up a little bit. India is also home to the world's largest mangrove forest. Here, tigers swim with sea turtles, sharks, and crocodiles. Now we're at the very end. We see some kids in school. The text says, in many schools in India, children wear uniforms. Didn't know that. Conclusion. India is a country of many people. People farm its rich soil to feed the nation. Its mountains and forests are home to many animals. Which part of India would you like to see? On this page we have some facts. So we see the Indian flag, the population, so how many people live in India. Let me see if I can read this number. It's pretty hard. It's kind of big. 1,236,344,631. Oh my gosh. So we could say like 1.2 billion people. And if the world has about 7 million people, then 1/7 of them basically live in India. So just enormous amount of people. It's hard for us Americans to comprehend like how many people that is. But easily 3 times the population of the United States. The capital is New Delhi. The primary language is Hindi, although there's many, 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 many languages. There's thousands of languages in India, but the language that most people speak is called Hindi. And then the money, the currency, is the rupee. And on the rupee, this is an example of a 10 rupee. They have a picture of one of the leaders called Gandhi. He is on their money. And you can see it's like very colorful. They also have coins. So it's really cool, really neat. Okay, here are some of the words that we need to know. Most of you know desert, festival, and firecrackers. Hindu is it's Hinduism is the religion, and the people are called Hindus. And it's a major religion in India, and they have many, many gods in this religion. Also in India, you have mangroves. It's a tropical tree that grows in swamps or shallow salt water. And this is really important. The monsoon, it's a seasonal storm that brings heavy rain. So it's that really heavy rain that comes in May or June in India. The rainfall is called the monsoon. I'm going to go back to the top. Thanks for reading along with me. I hope you learned some interesting things about India. As you are ending, you can think about how is the land in northern India different from the land in the rest of the country? Remember what's in the north? And then do you think the festivals in India would be fun to attend? Do you think Holi and Diwali would be fun to attend, and why or why not? All right, we'll leave it there. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.